Healing isn't a lightning strike. It's not a single, loud moment of victory. It's the quiet sunrise you almost miss. It's happening in the small shifts you brush aside as nothing important. You've been waiting for a sign that things are getting better. But the truth is, the signs have been there all along, hiding in plain sight. Today, we're not talking about the big breakthroughs. We're talking about the 9 almost invisible signs that show the real you is starting to breathe again. Number 1, the internal critic gets a new voice. When you were in the thick of it, there was a voice in your head that wasn't yours. It was a constant narrator, criticizing your every move, predicting failure, and replaying every mistake. It likely sounded a lot like your abuser. Every decision, from what to wear to what to say, was filtered through that voice. What would they think? What would they say? How will they react? The first subtle sign of healing is when that voice starts to fade. You won't notice it disappear all at once. Instead, one day you'll make a decision, a small one, like buying a coffee you like, and you'll realize halfway through sipping it that you didn't consult the critic in your head first. You just did it because you wanted to. The silence where that harsh voice used to be is the sound of your own thoughts returning home. You start trusting your own judgment again, not because you're forcing it, but because the space has finally been cleared for your own voice to speak. Number 2, you reclaim a small preference. Psychological abuse erodes your sense of self. To keep the peace, you likely gave up your preferences. You agreed you liked their favorite movie, even if you found it boring. You learned to like your eggs cooked their way. You stopped listening to your favorite music because they made fun of it. Your identity became a mirror of theirs, a strategy for survival. Healing begins when you, without even thinking about it, reclaim a tiny piece of yourself. Maybe you're at the store and you buy the brand of toothpaste you actually like, not the one you were supposed to buy. Maybe you put on a song from your teenage years and let yourself enjoy it without feeling guilty or foolish. These moments seem insignificant, but they are anything but. Each reclaimed preference is a brick you lay in the foundation of your new life. It's a quiet declaration that says, I am here, I have tastes, I exist. Number 3, the end of constant rehearsal. Life in an abusive environment is like living on a stage where you don't know your lines, and the director is unpredictable and cruel. So you rehearse. You spend hours in your head practicing conversations, planning exactly what you'll say and how you'll say it to avoid an explosion. You rehearse your explanation for being 5 minutes late. You rehearse how you'll ask for something you need. Your mind is a constant script writing room. One of the most liberating signs of healing is when you stop rehearsing. You'll find yourself in a conversation and words will just come out. You'll answer a question honestly without pre-screening your response for potential threats. You might hang up the phone and realize, I didn't plan any of that. This isn't recklessness. It's the return of authenticity. It means your nervous system is starting to believe that you can exist in the world without a script, that your spontaneous thoughts are not landmines waiting to detonate. Number 4, you genuinely laugh at something stupid. Abuse puts your emotions on lockdown. Joy becomes dangerous. Laughter can be seen as a provocation, so you learn to suppress it. You might smile, you might give a polite chuckle, but that deep from the belly laugh, it's gone. Your emotional range shrinks down to what is safe, neutral, compliant, or sad. Healing isn't about suddenly feeling happy all the time. It's about your emotional spectrum coming back online. The sign? You'll be scrolling on your phone or watching a show, and you'll see something completely silly. A cat falling off a chair, a ridiculous meme, and a real, genuine, uncontrollable laugh will escape you. It might even surprise you. In that moment, your body has remembered how to feel joy without asking for permission. That laugh is a crack in the dam, letting all the other feelings know it's safe to come out again. Number 5, you can tolerate silence. For a survivor of psychological abuse, silence is rarely peaceful. Silence is tension. It's the loaded quiet before the storm. It's the sound of waiting for the other shoe to drop. You would fill the silence with chatter, with questions, with anything to manage the mood and keep the peace. A quiet room felt like a dangerous room. You'll know you're healing when you find yourself sitting in a room, alone, and the silence is just silence. It's not heavy, it's not threatening, it's just empty space. You might be reading a book or looking out the window, and you realize you haven't felt a surge of anxiety for the last 10 minutes. You are not bracing for impact. In that moment, your brain is relearning the definition of quiet. It's shifting from danger to peace. being comfortable in your own quiet company is a superpower you didn't even know you were building. Number 6, you stop over-explaining. Victims of abuse are trained to justify their existence. You had to explain why you needed to go to the store. You had to provide a detailed report on who you talked to. You had to have a valid, airtight reason for feeling tired or sad. Because I want to, or because I feel like it, were not acceptable answers. This habit of over-explaining and justifying everything carries over long after you're safe. The shift is so subtle, you'll probably miss it. Someone will ask you why you can't hang out, and you'll just say, "I'm not feeling up to it tonight," and that's it. You won't follow it up with a 10-minute monologue about your stressful week, your lack of sleep, and the project due on Monday. You'll state your reality as a fact, not as a case to be argued before a judge. This is a quiet revolution. It's you subconsciously affirming that your needs, feelings, and decisions are valid on their own, no explanation required. Number 7, your body starts to relax. Psychological trauma is stored in the body. For years, your shoulders may have been hunched up by your ears. Your jaw may have been constantly clenched. You might have lived with a permanent knot in your stomach. Your body was in a constant state of high alert, ready for a threat that was always present. You get so used to this physical tension that it feels normal. Healing happens when your body lets go without you telling it to. You'll be driving or watching TV, and you'll suddenly take a deep breath and feel your shoulders drop an inch. You'll wake up in the morning and realize your jaw doesn't ache. This isn't just about feeling less stressed. This is your nervous system, your primal brain, sending a message to the rest of your body. The threat is gone. You can stand down. Your body is starting to trust your new reality, even before your mind has fully caught up. Number 8, you make a decision about the future. When you're being abused, the future is a terrifying concept. It's hard to imagine next week, let alone next year. Your energy is entirely consumed by surviving the next minute, the next hour, the next day. The future is a blank wall because imagining anything good feels like tempting fate, and imagining more of the same is unbearable. The healing starts with a flicker. It won't be a grand 5-year plan. It will be a tiny, almost throwaway thought. You'll see a poster for a concert that's 3 months away and think, "I might like to go to that." You'll see a travel documentary and think, "It would be nice to see that place someday." You're not buying tickets or booking a flight. You're just planting a seed. That tiny thought is your spirit whispering that it believes there will be a someday. It's the first crack of light that proves you're starting to believe in tomorrow again. Number 9, you set a tiny, unconscious boundary. Setting boundaries after abuse feels like an impossible task. The very idea can cause a panic attack. But healing doesn't start with the big confrontational no. It starts with boundaries so small, they are almost invisible. It might be not answering a text message the second it comes in. It might be letting a phone call go to voicemail because you're in the middle of something. It might be saying, "I'm not sure," instead of an immediate yes when asked for a favor. You didn't do it as a power move. You just did it because it was what you needed in that moment. And then, the most important part happens. Nothing. The world doesn't end. No one screams at you. The lack of negative consequences teaches your brain, on a very deep level, that you are allowed to have limits. You are allowed to take up space. Recognizing these signs is like developing film in a dark room. The image was there all along, but it's only now, in the quiet and the stillness, that you can finally see what's been developing. You have been fighting a quiet war, and these are your victories. They are proof that even after the harshest winter, spring eventually, quietly, begins. If this video helped you see your own quiet strength, please give it a like to help others find it too. And if you're on this journey, subscribe to be part of a community that gets it. Now for you, which of these signs surprised you the most to hear? Or is there a number 10 that you've experienced on your own path? Share it in the comments. Your small, quiet sign of healing might be the loud message of hope someone else desperately needs to read today.